Truth is that human design is a tool, but you still have to do all the inner work that goes with it to really have the value you're wanting to see. And if there's anything that I can share of value to you in this moment, it's that you need to look at this chart as a way to forgive yourself for the version that you thought you had to be for the world. For the version that your ego has created in your mind of what needs to be, what is perfect, what society expects, what you expect from yourself. Are those expectations even rational? Are those expectations hurting you, or are they helping you? Because I know if I look back on my old life, my old self, I was literally hurting myself in order to keep people around that did not even care about who I was. And I think that's the tricky part, is that we forget that just because we are forgiven, or that you forgive yourself or I forgive myself, I still have to forgive others, and I still have to show grace to others. And forgiving becomes so much easier when you're not caught up in your own fucking bullshit. To be honest, like, sorry to use the F word, but like, legitimately, when you stop almost playing victimhood, not saying that you do, or not saying that I did. I mean, I definitely did. But like, I'm not saying anyone watching this has done that. I'm just saying that when you stop trying to blame anything outside of yourself for what is going on in your current life, and you start actually taking ownership of whatever you can, forgiving that yourself of anything that you feel guilty for, or the mistakes you made, and then forgiving other people, seeing other people's viewpoints, and really taking a look at your own self, and then looking at the human design chart and being like, this is what feels correct for me, this is what resonates, this is what I can hold on to, and know that this is who I am, this is what I'm here to make a difference, and why I'm here on this life, and take some sort of feeling from it that everyone does. And not use it in this biased way, but use it in this way that's like, this is me, this is my gifts to the world, this is what I'm here, this is my purpose, this is my value, this is my truth. Then you start picking up the fact that you don't have to hold on to all these parts of yourself that you felt like you had to do for the world in order to create a life that was never yours to begin with. We literally get so caught up, I can't say it enough, in this ego mindset of who we think we're supposed to be. You are not supposed to be anybody but who you are. And if you are acting that way, it is important that you take the time to forgive yourself for doing that, and then make a different choice. If you're doing that to other people, it is so important that you take the time to recognize that you are projecting outside of the world, projecting your own stuff, and expecting other people to act like something that they are not. And then to have humility and grace and recognize that just because you have processed something or figured something out or forgiven yourself or forgiven others does not mean the whole world's going to start doing it either, but you still have to continue and show up even when it's hard. It's easy to forgive yourself when you're making all the right choices. It's easy to forgive yourself when you're feeling like you're authentic and you're in your integrity. It is easy to forgive others when they are also in integrity. It is much more difficult to forget the stuff that we continue to cling on to in the past that we do not need to, because they are bricks literally keeping us from flying, from soaring into anything that we want to do, into any potential of who we actually are. We are being literally dragged down by these bricks of old guilt and old pain and old trauma and old past stuff, and old people in our lives, and people who are literally pulling us back down to their level. And your old self is pulling you back down because you're unable to let it go. So when you let it go brick by forking brick, you literally start to tap into the actual potential of who you are, and that depression and that anxiety starts to lower, and you feel happier because you're literally free of this depression, this anxiety, this whole charade of of all the masks that you put on in your entire life are shredded from you, and you honestly feel amazing because it's like for the first time you're like, wow, I don't even have any of this shit on me that wasn't even supposed to be a part of me. But the crazy part is that's just the beginning. That's just the part of recognizing that, wow, I've started to decondition, but it can only go up from there. Like the lack of anxiety and depression, at least for me, was like, I felt like I had actually cured myself. And then I recognized how I can only go up from there. But the only way that I got there to begin with was my own forgiveness, my own love for myself and for others. Because yes, I do love others so universally and so unconditionally. I mean, I have that in my chart. It's like I have universal like closeness to spirit and love, and but I was doing it so wrong for so long because I didn't recognize that in order for me to really love other people, I had to forgive myself. And I was doing it wrong because even when I did forgive myself, then I had to recognize that I had to also let shit go. And I had to also not take everything so personally, not project on people, and to take a breath before I responded and really start to train my mind to recognize what is me and what isn't. What is me and what is the energy around me that is creating this false sense of who I am. This has allowed me to create boundaries and create good relationships, good friendships, good values in my life. And literally over 2 years, my entire life has changed. Now, I'm not saying that it all has to do with human design. I'm saying human design can give you the blueprint to forgive who you thought you were. And so you can start to recognize and love who you are. Don't worry about what type you are or what profile you are or what gates you have or what channels you have. It's you, and you know this deep down in your mind, even in your conscious mind, you know it. Take what works for you. Leave what doesn't. Come back to it 5 years later if you need to. Don't come back to it at all if it worked perfectly looking at it one time. Whatever spirituality that you're in, whatever you've invested your love and your time in, I love that you've done that for you if it gives you value and love and grace and forgiveness and acceptance and everything that you want it to. But again, none of that stuff happens if you aren't willing to feel it in here, feel it in your heart, feel it in your whole being, because everything outside of yourself is just either a tool or a lesson or a choice. So, gotta figure out what you want to do with that choice. Anyways, I love you guys so much. I'm sorry, that was really intense, but good old passionate me. Bye, guys. Love you all so much. Have a great day.